Yes, what's going on, everybody? It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United with another little cheeky evening transfer news roundup show for you. We're going to be trying to do this all summer long, where we sort of just dissect the days and evenings news every single night on the channel. That's the plan. So you can expect to be seeing us around about 9:45, 10 p.m. pretty much every night, guys, to discuss Manchester United's transfer dealings. Should be a busy summer, shouldn't it? How are we all doing tonight? Thank you very much for joining. Do us a favour at the start of the stream. You know what to do. Smash that like button on it. Give us a massive thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel, of course. And get yourself involved and say hello. Get yourself in the chat. We will be dipping in and out the chat as we go along. And, of course, Q&A at the end as well. Oh, you know it makes sense. You can also give us a share around on X or any way that you can. The link is pinned at the top of the live chat there. If you want to give us a little repost on X, it's much appreciated. If not, no worries. But let's get stuck into it then. How you doing? Fire up. Yes, Josh Lee, Ashley Vogt, Griffin, Aaron Spear, Roman, Rebois, Shammy, Dave Watkins, OP Dragon, Indy, Tommy Boyudon, Josh Hawker, DJ, Mark, OP, Abubakar, Ice Queen Gaming, Prima Italia, SCJF, Mexico Vice, Quality, Polis, thank you so much, mate, 90k, let's go. Thank you, Charlie, Pete, OP Dragon, and everybody else as well. Yep, hit those thumbs ups, you know it makes sense, help boost us up there. Also, get yourself involved. Let's get stuck in then, guys. So it's been an interesting day for Manchester United, a big few news stories for us to discuss. We jumped on at lunchtime and gave you the rundown of the day. But we'll just give you the rundown of the evening. So we know that Bruno Fernandes has turned down Al Hilal. Get in there, Bruno. Excuse me. Excuse me there, guys. Crikey. Few people obviously are not happy about Bruno staying. I'm really happy about Bruno staying personally because I think he's a baller and he's one of our better players. So why wouldn't I be happy about that? It would have been nice to have a bit of extra money to go and buy some more players. But at the same time, you know, Bruno is a baller for us and his stats don't lie. So I'm happy about it. But let's see what's sort of been said. Bruno Fernandes has been speaking about this since we last did that video. So there's lots of quotes. I've just picked a few out here to look at. But he says, Al Hilal were very kind. They spoke to my agent. Then I spoke to my wife. She asked, what do you want to do? She always supports my decisions. It would have been easy for me to move there. I know the Portuguese players there very well, but I want to play at the highest level and compete for major titles. So that does mean he's leaving Manchester United, doesn't it? No, I'm joking. Hopefully we'll get back there with Bruno in tow. He says, I can do that and I still want to. I'm very passionate about football. Get in there, Bruno Fernandes, lad. So not just chase the magic dragon of a massive paycheck all the way over there to Saudi, decided to stay here. I don't know if that means, you know, he says he spoke to his wife and she asked, what do you want to do? It was more like he spoke to his wife and he asked, what do you want to do? Maybe, I don't know. But no, like I said, it's not all about the money, is it? Maybe they're happy in England, they're happy in Europe, they're happy, obviously, being able to punt over to Portugal if they need to, etc., whatever. So it's not ideal for Bruno, obviously, the Al Hilal move, because he's decided to stay, even though it would have been a massive payday for him. He confirmed the exclusive story on rejecting Al Hilal. He said, the president called me, I've rejected. I spoke to Amorim. He asked me not to go. Manchester United didn't want to sell me and they don't need the money. But if I had wanted to leave, they would have made it happen. So, as I say, you know, it's pretty clear that Amorim didn't want Bruno Fernandes to leave. That's what we've been saying this whole time. Anybody who's got any bottle about them would realise that Amorim would want to keep hold of his best players, especially his compatriot there, you know, Bruno, who's got a lot of love for and faith in, obviously. At least that's what it seems like from all the positive things he said about his captain. So I'm sure Amorim's very happy that Bruno's decided to stay. I bet the Glazers are not too happy about him wanting to stay, though, because, of course, they would have got a load of money here, 100 million or somewhere in that region, to be able to strengthen the squad and not have to go through the rigmarole of selling loads of other players or maybe even doing the unthinkable and dip into their own pockets, which isn't going to happen. But yes, now we have to look to sell other melts, don't we, in the side, get rid of a lot of these melt bags. Bruno wants to stay, and I think it's obviously, you know, very positive from the lad. As I say, he said it's an easy move, so he said he even had João Cancelo there, who's obviously, his Portuguese friend. But I want to maintain myself at the highest level. I wanted to keep playing in the big competitions and I feel capable of it. Right, okay, so I think it was Tommy actually in the live chat said something earlier on, which was very astute. If it was somebody else, then apologies. But they said that, think about it, Bruno Fernandes wants to be playing here regularly in a very high standard league and in competitions, etc., rather than going over there. And it's a World Cup year next year. So for 2026, obviously, he wants to be playing at the top level, right in contention there. Not saying that if he'd gone out to Saudi, he wouldn't be. But I think it's just more sensible for him to stay playing for Manchester United in order to obviously be prepared and ready and everything properly for that World Cup as well. So I think that's what he's got one eye on as well. Maybe if it was after the World Cup, he might think about going. But also there probably will be an offer on the table in the future for Bruno Fernandes. So I'm buzzing about it, guys, about Bruno staying. Very happy indeed. Are you happy or unhappy? Have your say in the live chat. But for me, I think it's all positive. It's reaffirmed his desire to stay and play for us. He's obviously a great player and he can add a lot of goals and assists to our team. Even if we're adding different players who might be playing a bit more advanced up the pitch, he can still play in a central midfield role for us. So he's a great player and he's our captain at the moment. We don't really have too many great candidates for captain. Big up Tom T getting in the live chat. Jonathan Gallagher, yes mate. Stefan, Indy, Brandon, OP and everybody else as well. Legends, absolute legends. So I'm happy about it, guys. I think it's an important piece of the puzzle. Personally, would have been easy to get rid of him and sign a couple of players that may or may not have been good, but we know he's good. We know he's good. Big up Stephen Shipman, how you doing, lad? Yeah, that's it. Most of the Portugal team play in Saudi. No, that's true. But in terms of like preparations, if you think about it, what's better for you? What is actually better for you? Playing in a very super physical competitive league, in the Premier League, or playing over in Saudi League, which, let's face it, every other week you're playing basically a dog and duck sort of side, aren't you? Okay, there's a lot of money floating around there these days. A lot of the teams do have great big name players that they've signed. There's loads of big players out there, sure. But it's just not as good as it is playing regularly in the Premier League. So I think from a player's perspective, if you're trying to get yourself ready for a World Cup, what's better? Playing, in air-conditioned stadiums in 40-degree heat in Saudi Arabia or whatever it is, and then, playing in a lesser standard league, or actually playing in the Premier League and playing at the top level, physical stuff, that's going to prepare you better, isn't it? You'll probably be in a better position to go on and take on the World Cup, having played in the Premier League compared to the Saudi League. Maybe I'm reading too much into this. Maybe there's really not that much effect end of the day, but I personally think it does make a difference. If the standard of competition you're playing week to week is just higher, then surely that's going to make you play to a higher standard when it matters. So I think Bruno Fernandes is thinking about that as well. But obviously he's happy in the UK, he's happy here at Manchester United, and that's what it comes down to, really. I wouldn't rule out a move elsewhere, so it's not really going to be over yet with Bruno Fernandes this summer, I think, because obviously there's going to be some stories of European clubs that will be interested in him, and we might not be able to get as much money for him selling him to one of those. But if he wanted to go, if he wanted to play and challenge for those top competitions in Europe, etc., then again, it would be hard to stop him from going. And Bruno said himself there, if he wanted to go, he would have been allowed to go. They would have sold him, but he didn't want to go. But let's say an offer comes in, I don't know, I'm just spitballing here. Obviously, it's very unrealistic or whatever, but, from the likes of a Real Madrid or someone like that, then obviously he's going to have to think twice. So he might well still be the centre of attention this summer with some discussions for movements, but at the moment it looks like he's our player. Get in there, Bruno Fernandes. Exactly, I respect the loyalty as well and hope he gets us where we want to be. That's it, he is loyal. That is the case. I mean, I know he's getting a huge amount of cash at Manchester United, but he could literally go and get way more than double that playing over in Saudi Arabia and just get it tax-free as well. So unbelievable for him to turn down that sort of financial boost. But respect to the guy for doing it. He obviously is a great character and obviously doesn't care too much about the money. Obviously, it's nice to have loads of money, which he does already. Which takes me on to the next person that we're going to discuss next, guys, which is the opposite of that, which is, in my opinion, probably more on the prima donna mercenary money-grabbing bastard side of things, which is that man, Jadon Sancho. So we discussed it earlier, obviously the reports coming out that Jadon Sancho is returning to Manchester United. Chelsea decided not to exercise that 25 million buy clause or buy agreement, and they have used the basically the break clause to give Jadon Sancho back to Manchester United for £5 million. They've paid us £5 million to take him back. Fabrizio Romano confirmed just a short while before the stream that Sancho leaves Chelsea and returns to United with the £5 million penalty clause paid. So we've already paid it. They've paid it, guys. We've got that £5 million for Jadon Sancho to come back to us. But it's a drop in the ocean when you consider how much money he's on, a few £100,000 a week. You know, that's getting on for like 12 million quid a year or somewhere like that. That's being siphoned out the football club with this melt on our books. So yes, that's nice to have £5 million, but there's a very serious reason why they've given Jadon Sancho back to us and paid us £5 million for the privilege. And that is because he's bang bloody average, my friends. He's cash. And also, he's just not worth anywhere near the amount of money that we're paying him, that they were supposedly going to have to pay him because he didn't want to go and play there for less money. Oh no, he wants the money. He'd rather sit around and fester and play FIFA until 2 a.m. like me, and get his £300,000 a week at Manchester United for a season, I'm sure. Either that or go out and loan to Roy of the Rovers, United or whoever, and just toss it off for a year. Nice one, Jadon. What a melter. He's in his prime at the moment. He's 25. He should want to play. There was a great opportunity there for Chelsea for him, and he's just decided to come back for the cash. What a disgrace. But there you go. We're going to have to work our hardest to get rid of Jadon now. It's going to be difficult. It's probably most likely going to be a loan move. And there are some quotes, from Jadon Sancho as well. He said that he confirms leaving Chelsea, obviously, from his loan spell. He said, grateful for the experience. Big love to everyone at Chelsea who made me feel at home. Teammates, staff and the fans. Wishing the club all the best moving forward. So, yes, that chapter's most definitely closed. Not on the cards. Maresca obviously doesn't want him, doesn't see the value in the deal. And I wouldn't see the value in the deal either because he's way overpaid. And he's shite as well, isn't he? He's pretty bang average. Okay. He's got a bit of fancy feet here and there. Sometimes he scores some goals. There's no real substance to his game, is there? There's no real guile or bottle to his game, is there? He's just another one of those Insta players. That's it, really. So he's got what he wants, which is a fat paycheck every single week. I doubt very much indeed that he'll want to leave Manchester United unless he's going to keep getting that fat paycheck. So that's where United coming in really to pay some of his wages to play for somebody else comes into effect, and that's a disaster. Unless, fingers crossed, Saudi Arabia, some team over there comes in for him and can afford to pay the wages that we're paying him, which they might be able to because they just chuck money at anyone, don't they? Oh, gash-tastic though, guys. I hate the fact that Jadon Sancho's coming back to United. I thought we were shot of this melt. I thought Chelsea were going to exercise that agreement and obviously get him for 25 mil. But let's face it, they've just decided that he's not good enough. He's not worth it. And when you consider we paid 73 million for him, it's insane, isn't it? 73 million, they don't see the value in 25 million. You know what I mean? In fact, they see the value more so in giving us 5 million, not to put in a bid for 20 or not to buy him for 25 million. It's quite laughable, really. What a melt. How much of a melt do you have to be to get yourself into that situation where you're just so unwanted? But that's it. It's our fault as well as a club for giving him what we gave him. Anyway, so he's leaving, guys. Or he's will be leaving, I'd imagine, this summer. Probably on loan. But if not, then I guess he's just going to sit it out on the sidelines. He'll be just a substitute, probably unused most of the time. In fact, we don't even want him in the dressing room. That's the thing. You don't need somebody there who can't be asked. You don't need somebody there who doesn't really, truly want to be there. It's just going to have toxic, negative effects in the dressing room. So even if we can't do anything about it, we kind of just have to cut our losses and loan him out, even if we're having to pay a big amount of money for him. Just loan him out to a team abroad or something, get him off of our mind, get him off of our books to a degree, and see you later on, son, in 1 year's time when his contract's finally up. And maybe that's what these shithouses Chelsea is sort of thinking about in one respect, is that, well, we could pay 25 million for him and a few £100,000 a week, or we can get somebody else for now, maybe somebody who's a bit better, but also there's still the option in a year's time we could pick him up as a free agent, which might be what they're thinking about. And you just know Jadon Sancho is not going to want to go anywhere. All he needs to do is hang on for another year, and then he can go and get another massive fat paycheck with a big move somewhere, and he'll be able to command a bigger paycheck somewhere because obviously they're not having to pay any transfer fee. So Jadon Sancho, we're probably stuck with this melt for another year, blatantly. He's not going anywhere, is he? And if he is, it'll be out on loan with partial wages covered. What a disgrace. Still have to blame the old melts that ran this football club, who were here a few years ago when this sort of happened, the likes of Murtaugh, the likes of Woodward and Arnold and these sorts of melts who oversaw this period of signings for Manchester United, because it's nothing short of an absolute stitch-up for a long time. Yeah, by the way, if you're just getting in here, thank you very much for getting in here, such as the Cinnamon. How you doing? Yes, indeed, we'll discuss that. Bell691, how you doing, lad? Yeah, exactly. Mount, Hojlund, Onana, all these guys. Anthony, we paid 85 mil for. Don't forget Anthony. He's pretty much the worst signing of the bunch when you consider the amount of money involved. So, yeah, couldn't agree more. Rashford's another one, right? So, Rashford, I very much doubt he's going to be given an opportunity for Ruben Amorim's Manchester United, simply due to the fact that Ruben let him go out on loan. That's not the sort of thing you do when you actually have the idea of playing that player in your team. Maybe it was a reality check, maybe it's a kick up the arse, maybe Rashford and Ruben will have a conversation and they will mend the relationship to some degree there. Probably not, though. For a start, Rashford doesn't really fit properly into an Amorim system. I guess he could play, as the number 9 if you need him to, but it's not really his best position. And then in the number 10s or that sort of role, I don't really see him having the intelligence in that, in the vision and stuff like that, the creativity to be able to actually play that role for us. He's better when he's got space out wide and he can run in, cut in, cause a bit of danger and all that sort of stuff. But he's actually not he's not got the highest football IQ in that sense. So I don't think he's going to play that role for us. So yeah, I expect Rashford's going to be moved on very soon as well. There's not too much news in regards to Rashford, unfortunately, other than the fact that Barcelona were interested in him. They may well still be interested in him. It's expected that we want about £40 million for Rashford, which, to be fair, if you're a team like Barcelona, that's not a bad deal, really. I know he's on $350,000 a week and you're probably going to have to pay essentially that to him, but he's a big star player around the globe. He's got a huge following. He will shift merch and shirt sales and all that rubbish, which will get a little bit of cash back. And then he's still very young, so I think there's actually quite a good deal to be had for some club out there for Marcus Rashford, because yeah, he could do well somewhere. He's coming into his prime. Unfortunately, he's just not really got the bottle or the mentality, the character that we need at Manchester United. But, somebody might be able to get a lot out of him. And obviously Barcelona is the place that looks like Rashford is going to be going to. Good luck to him. That's the perfect club for Marcus Rashford, really. It's a bit of a shithouse club. It's a money club. It's a club that, doesn't really respect, financial fair play and shit like that either in some regards. And also, it's a big Hollywood club, isn't it? Obviously, it's not in Hollywood. But what I mean by that is it's just like a huge, huge brand of a football club. He's going from one huge brand to another huge brand. He'll get what he wants, which is feeling all special on Instagram. You know what I mean? He'll get what he wants there, I think, by playing for Barcelona. So, yeah, good luck to him. If it's not Barcelona, then, well, I still hope there's a move on the cards for, somewhere like Aston Villa, or I doubt he'd want to go to Saudi, but surely we can think about maybe him going to somewhere this summer. Yep. FCUM Red Rebels fan. What's going on there, my son? Come on. FC United of Manchester. Let's go. Thank you so much for the Red Devil there, you legend. Let's be having you. Come on. Get in there. Red Rebels fan. Let's go. Get some love in there, please, for this fella. I thought your name was a naughty word then for a second there, but it's not. It's just short for FC United of Manchester. Get in there, lad. Thank you for that. Also, Zayn Miyassi's in here. Check it out. Arsenal scummer extraordinaire. What's happening there, Zayn? He says, Jason, it seems not chosen one. Clouded his future is. My name is Yoda. To see you nice it is. What are you talking about, Zayn? Jason. It seems... Oh, Jadon Sancho? Jadon, is that? Jason. It seems not the chosen one. Clouded his future is. Put the pipe down, Zayn. Put the pipe down immediately, lad. Bloody hell. Goodness me. Speaking of chasing the Magic Dragon earlier with finances, I think Zayn's been puffing the Magic Dragon. Do you know what I'm saying? Put the pipe down, Zayn, mate. What are you talking about? If you're talking about Jadon Sancho, then yes, he's definitely not the chosen one, is he? No, that's true. I'm guessing that's who you're talking about. Yeah. Feisty one you are. Oh, that would be amazing. Sancho to West Ham would be amazing. Yep. Can we do a buy one, get one free with Rashford and Sancho? Surely there's a club who will take these two idiots for around 60 minutes. Yeah, but you have to remember the wages are crazy, mate. They're going to have to fork out, more than £500,000 a week for those two melts, lad. So it's unlikely. Too much meth. Hey, there has been talk of that chappie, but there's also been talks of us being interested in frickin' Alexander Mitrovic and stuff. So you have to take things with a pinch of salt. But I would entertain that. Let's ask the chat. Smash a one if you'd be up for a swap deal. Rashford and Watkins over at Villa. Smash a one if you'd be interested in that. I mean, I definitely would. It feels like Watkins is out of sorts at Villa, but his record's still good. His goal-scoring record's good. He's a good age, homegrown talent, etc. I think we could certainly do worse than Watkins. Be a good addition into the squad. I'm not saying he should be our only sort of forward that we sign there up there to score goals, but he would be definitely a good addition to the squad, I think. And obviously it gives us an opportunity to get rid of one of the melters in the team who's got a bit of a bad attitude, i.e. Marcus Rashford. Yeah, exactly, Simon. Saves another captain. Well, there isn't really another captain in the side. Let's go, Tommy Boyle, lad. Sancho needs to go before pre-season. Can't look really melt lurking around Carrington. I think they'll push him out, mate. They'll push him out on a loan deal. It's a massive waste of money for Manchester United, but what's the alternative? The alternative is he plays sporadically, only as and when you absolutely need him, and he's a toxic influence, potentially at least, in the dressing room, and you don't need that, mate. So yeah, get him out of training, get him out of the team. See you later on, son. Go and play for Kettering Town for all we care. Mate, I'd do a better job than Andre Onana, lad. I'm almost convinced. Almost convinced, lad. I'm almost convinced. Simon, get in there, my son. Let's go. Ezio says no. Yes, let's go. Brandon Farhad would be interested in the swap. Fair enough. Like quite a lot of people would. I don't think it's very realistic, that particular thing. When's the last time you actually saw a proper swap deal, It's rare. In fact, wasn't it Mkhitaryan with Alexis Sanchez sort of coming the other way? I don't think it was a technical swap deal, but they let them come to us, we let them go to them. It was kind of like a swap deal. That's probably the last one I remember us actually doing, and that wasn't a straight swap or anything. So, yeah, Kate Cadet, how you doing, my son? He says Villa can't afford Rashford's wages. Are you mad? No, you're not wrong there, boss. Yeah, true. He would have to take a cut in wages, which I don't really see him doing. Or United pay X amount in order to get him to go there. And we're not going to do that, are we? We're not going to pay somebody like Rashford to play for Villa. That would be crazy, mate. I mean, I guess you could factor it into a transfer fee. Let's face it, Rashford's on, what is it, like 13, 14, 15 million a year? Let's do the maths real quick. 350k a week, that's 1.4 million a month. That's 11.4 million for 10 months, plus another 2.8 million equals 14.2 million a year. I think. I don't know, maybe I messed that up, but somewhere in that region now. So you have to factor that in. Maybe they would be prepared to give us a little bit more up front for us to essentially pay him a little bit for the remainder, so it's not on their books. I don't know how it would work. It's probably unrealistic, like you say. Villa can't really afford it. Who can afford it? Well, one of the mega clubs around Europe, or a Saudi team. It's probably not going to go to Saudi, so probably one of the mega clubs around Europe. Yeah, like a Barca. Victor Caballero, get in there. Thank you very much for subscribing. Are you Brazilian by any chance? But either way, thank you very much for hitting that subscribe button, you legend. Really appreciate that. By the way, if you're just getting in the stream, hit the thumbs up button. We've smashed 125 likes. Get in there, you beauties. Help us get to 200 likes. Also, if you're new, do what this legend here, Mr. Victor Caballero's done, and give us a subscribe. Oh, yes, you know it makes sense. Right, hang on. Let's get on to the real stuff, though. Screw this Jadon Sancho melt. He's doing my head in. I don't care about this Sancho return. I just want him to go out on loan somewhere. See you later on, you mug. That's how I feel about Sancho. In regards to a player that I want to see Manchester United side, now let's get into it then. Mbuemo. So reports that Mbuemo is obviously interested in joining Manchester United. We're expected that we're going to be 16.9 million with it. I think I might have melted there then. Fair enough. Hang on, 16.9. Where have you got the 0.9 from? That makes no sense. It's definitely not that. Anyway, any updates on Anthony? Yeah, he's shit, mate. He's absolutely shit, lad. That's the latest update on Anthony. No, his mate Eric Ten Hag's going to go and give him a back massage somewhere over the summer transfer window and convince him to come and join Bayer Leverkusen, lad. That's what's going on. But anyway, let's talk about the player that we want to get in here, Mr. Bryan Mbeumo. So reports coming out, the Times anyway, are reporting that Bryan Mbeumo's targeting a 250k a week salary if he joins Manchester United. What the fuck? No, seriously, mate. That is ridiculous. Obviously, this is just sort of to a degree of paper talk to it. But, nah. Nah, that's way too much money, mate. We don't want to be giving Bryan Mbeumo at 25. I know he's had a good season for Brentford. We don't want to be giving him a 250k a week contract. That's mental. That's mental. Let's ask the live chat, guys. How much do you think Bryan Mbuemo is worth right now in terms of a salary for Manchester United? Bear in mind that we should be trying to actually change our wage structure at this football club and stop paying players too much and giving them ideas above their station and making them unsaleable, etc. I'm going to say £180,000 a week tops. That's the deal he should be getting for United, and that's probably, I don't know what he's getting at Brentford, but it's a huge amount more than he's getting at Brentford. So I would say somewhere in that region. You know, it's too much money to pay somebody like that 250k a week with what's been going on at the football club. I know we have players on huge money at the football club. You could say, oh, what about Casemiro? What about Rashford? What about Sancho? What about Bruno? Yeah, but most of these players shouldn't have been given these contracts, and we want them to leave, and now it's hard for them to go because of their wages. So we don't want to get stuck with those sorts of players. We need to we need to be a little bit more sensible with our amounts that we pay players these days. And the only reason I'm even saying 180k is because, well, it's probably going to be a 4 or 5 year contract. You know, he is 25 now. It's going to be the best part of his career. He's playing for a huge club like Manchester United. He's on the back of a great season. Like, you're not going to get him for 80,000 a week, I don't think. It's going to be a significant amount. And I guess so it should be if you're expected to come and be a first-team player for Manchester United, one of the biggest clubs in the world. But let's not get too carried away here. Let's not be crazy. That's bad, 250k a week. Well, if that's the case, it's absolutely crazy, isn't it? Let's get some absolute celebrations in there for TCG Hub. Love that, TCG. Congrats on the job, mate. Yes, mate, you had an interview the other day and he's crushed it. We knew you would, lad. Get in there, TCG Hub. Well done, mate. Buzzing for you, my son. Let's go. Can you ask if they've got any vacancy for maybe Jadon Sancho, lad, or would you rather not work with that melt? Let us know. But if you could possibly put a word in for Jadon, maybe even Andre, that would be much appreciated, lad, because we need to move some people on. Thank you, TCG, lad. 120k, you reckon that he's worth 60k a week? It won't be anywhere near that level. It'll be a lot higher than that. But these reports of 250, I think, are a bit off base. They're a bit too much. 100k per week, 120k, 130k, 120's fair. That's definitely a good one. Yeah, definitely fair, mate. If we could get him for 120k, that would be a fantastic bit of business. It's not going to be that low, though, guys. Let's be realistic. It's not going to be that low. He's moving for about maybe £50 million. That's what he's going to be costing Manchester United. You don't get paid 120k a week, really, when you cost £50 million and you're 25. He's going to get a significant amount more than that, but I don't think it'd be crazy amounts more. Yeah, exactly. There you go. Sean says he's on 45k, so 90k is enough. Yeah, but I don't think it's really going to pan out that way. Fair enough, I see what you're saying, but for the reasons I just said, obviously, it is United. He is going to be an expected first teamer there. He's in his prime years, 25, on the back of a great season. You know, they'll want to try and push their luck for as much as possible. That's probably where this 250k a week thing's coming from. Maybe that's where these early negotiations are sort of at the moment, and then obviously we're going to meet somewhere a lot lower down than that. 140k's got a great ring to it, Mark. I like that. 140k a week from Mbuemo, 150k plus. Mounts on 250, give him 150. Yeah, well, that's craziness, isn't it? I mean, even if Mount was on £2.50, that would be far too much money. 140, 175, no more than 120, no more than 150, 180. Yeah, it's probably bollocks, mate. I mean, that's what, if you're his agent, etc., you're of course going to negotiate very high. But it's not really what's going to end up to be his actual wage. Mace Windex says 150k plus performance bonus. Yeah, love it. Absolutely love it. He plays for a mid-table team. He does. But remember, Manchester United is kind of that at the moment as well. We're not exactly in a fantastic position. But the size of Manchester United, the finances of Manchester United absolutely dwarfs anything that Brentford could do, really. So there's big potential at this football club. And it is one of the biggest clubs in the world. And you kind of, at this stage, you almost have to give hazard pay to players. Right? You have to give hazard pay. And I'm not talking about like physical harm where they could get injured or anything. Although that does seem to be a problem. No, I'm talking about hazard pay as in, well, you could come here and this could be an absolute shitter, lad. Pressure, media scrutiny, fan backlash, finishing low down. There's no guarantees at Man United at the moment. It's not like you're joining a well-oiled machine. No, you're joining kind of like a rusty, dry glazer shithouse machine. And so there is a little bit of extra added hazard going on there. Let's face it, we've seen a few players come in and have their otherwise really prosperous careers derailed by joining Manchester United. That's kind of a consideration as well. So look at Hojlund. Has Hojlund's stock gone up or down since joining Manchester United? Has Andre Onana's? Has Antony's? You know, the list goes on and on and on of players that have come to United with a real great prospect and then ended up being absolutely gash. So you kind of have to think about that. These players really don't live in the real world, do they? No, they absolutely don't. No. Timo Schafter would get him a great deal. He definitely would. Not that popular. Yeah, it won't be here during AFCON. Well, fair enough, but we still need to buy other players up there to score goals anyway. One striker is not going to be enough, for that. And then think about the other players we've got in the team as well that can still play in those positions. You know, Bruno can pop forward and play in the cam role with Matheus Cunha or something for a month. It's not the end of the world, is it? Obviously, Mbuemo is going to be coming in to basically play the right-sided number 10 role, you would think, for us, with Cunha, the left-sided 10 role behind a number 9. But again, he can play up there if you need him to. So he's. I think it's a good sign. And other than that AFCON thing, obviously 1 month there, which is going to be a problem. Right, Mark Coughlin, great comment, mate. Great comment, mate. That's what it comes down to, lad, really. What's the point of buying Mbuemo? What's the point of getting in Matheus Cunha? Yes, you'll add some goals, hopefully. But what's the point if you've got Flubberhands in goal? You're still going to be facing the same sort of problems that you would right now, which is that we're conceding so many goals and we're just shipping goals, and he's made a lot of individual mistakes. And you need a solid keeper to have like a solid base to build on. That's where a lot of confidence comes from a team. Maybe you can take that extra chance if you've got a really fantastic last line of defence. But when you've got a flubberhand in goal, it's like everybody's just playing on tenterhooks. Everybody's super nervous. Everybody's worried about the next error. It makes a big difference. We can't have that guy in goal for us any longer. So you've made a great comment. What's the point of getting these guys in if we're not going to address the goalkeeper position? That is absolutely, should be, task 1 now, to try and get a new goalkeeper in. So I completely agree with what you're saying there. Absolutely. Billy says, hang on, does that mean I won't be here for AFCON either? No, that's true, yeah. So I remember a couple of years ago, he did step down, didn't he, from the Cameroon setup? But I'm pretty sure he went back into the Cameroon setup, didn't he? But excellent. But thing is, though, hopefully we won't have him by then, really, Billy. I know what you're saying, but hopefully he won't be here. Why would he be here if we're going to sign another goalkeeper? Surely he does want to play, and surely some team out there wants him. Yeah, some team out there would want the guy. I'm almost convinced of it. Oh, thank you, Gav's Highlights. Check this out. What a legend. Great moderating duties there from you, you legend. Yes, mate, thank you so much for that. We are going live on the gaming channel shortly in about 13 minutes' time. On the gaming channel, Flying Pig Gaming. There's the link. He's put the link in there. Do give us a cheeky little follow over there and check that stream out. We'll be there at 10:45. Nice one. Right, okay. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Obviously, Mbuemo bid expected is the big story. You know, that's going to be coming soon. Manchester United expected to put in a bid. We're going to start negotiating with Brentford shortly in order to finalise the deal for Mbuemo. The player has already given his approval. Verbal agreement's done. Optimistic that transfer will go through. It would be their second statement signing in attack after Matheus Cunha. We'd all be buzzing, wouldn't we, so far, to get that done so early. Get Mbuemo and Matheus Cunha in. I think that would be just an incredible start to the transfer window. So, yes, positive times, guys, positive times. Also, Rasmus Hojlund is still wanted in Italy. Just to mention that is obviously another story that's still gathering pace and looks like it's going to be likely that there's going to be a, potentially decent bid for him. Hojlund keeps attracting interest from Italy. I understand Inter are considering him as an option. So, great stuff. There we go, guys. Rasmus Hojlund to Inter, hopefully. Get him off the books. Start selling some of the other melts like Antony, Onana, whoever you can get rid of, really, who are just absolute melts. Bring in Mbuemo, bring in Matheus Cunha, and then work on a goalkeeper and a striker. And we would be having a decent window, looking good for next season. Looking real good for next season, especially when you factor in we don't have that European competition to contend with, which could be good for us to be able to focus fully on those domestic competitions. Let's go. Right, I'm going to get into the live chat now, just for a few questions here. I am doing that stream over on the gaming channel, so come and join us for that if you want to chat some more. Hit those likes buttons. We're almost at 150 likes. Give us a thumbs up. I'm just going to go over to X and shout out the few legends that have given us a repost over there. Big ups to the legends here. Thank you so much to Ashley Vote. Let's go Kieran, the GOAT Richard Wisterpeck, Tommy Boyle Lad, and Andy Davidge. Thank you so much, you legends, for sharing us around there and helping us spread the word of the channel. Right, let's read a few comments and I've got to wrap this up because we're doing that stream there over on Flying Pig Gaming. Join us literally in 10 minutes time, guys. You know it makes sense. Let me pin that to the top, actually. I'll just pin that link to the top for the stream on the gaming channel there. I'm going to have to get myself a coffee after this, guys. I'm feeling knackered now. I've got bloody 7 games of champs to play. Oh, my God. Anyway, come and join us for that. Let's see what you guys are saying real quick. Poor old Gashmus. He's not poor, though, is he? He's very rich this stage, especially for such a young lad. Making pasta. King Boomy, interesting. I don't think they'll really be able to command quite that money for him, but maybe they will. If you look what we have paid for Mateus Cunha, you could argue that Mbuemo's, just as important, just as effective a player with his stats and stuff. So, if you're Brentford, you're of course using that as a position of leverage to say, hey, look, you've just signed in for this. We want the same for this player that's played this, that's from a similar status club and also the same age. So it does make sense, but I think we can negotiate them down a little bit more because Mbuemo wants to come to us properly, doesn't he? And what are they going to do? Keep a player that doesn't want to be there? Give in to Sancho too. Buy one, get one free. I said you buy one, you get one free. I said you buy one, you get one free. It makes sense that Sancho would be included in a buy one, get one free deal. You know why? Because buy one, get one free, the anagram or an acronym, what's the word I'm looking for? But the anagram of that, no. The acronym of it is BOGOF. Buy one, get one free. BOGOF. Bog off. Bog off. Bog off, Sancho. You know what I mean? It makes sense that he'd be included in a buy one, get one free deal because bog off, lad. That's why. Put hair on Mbuemo and he'll be seen as much better player. Remember Michael Liverpool? Get out of here, Michael lad. What keeper would be a good fit for us? Yeah, there's loads, mate. There's loads of great keepers. Donnarumma. You got Sells. You've got Emi Martinez. I actually think Emi Martinez might be the best fit for us because I like his shithousery. I like the fact he is a bit of a character, bit of a, well, let's just say it how it is, bit of a prick. I like that. He's got a bit of an aggressive streak to him. He's got a bit of a, he's a little bit eccentric, I suppose, but great keeper. Get some hot chocolate. Oh, I like your style. We are getting good air of you if you've ever seen it tonight. Big thanks, Cake. I appreciate that, lad. Thanks so much for making me do this. Making me do this. Damn it! I don't have access to your video. I'm on the news stream. I don't have the video of your head causing passing planes to land in the wrong locations, mate, due to the glare coming off your dome. Sadly, I don't have that video down now. You still like the idea of us bringing in Morten Hjulman from Sporting? Amarim loves him. He's great box-to-box, great engine, had another great season. Yeah, but thing is, though, did you not see what happened the last time we got a Scandinavian striker in there, mate? With that Rasmus Hojlund, plus his name sounds too much like Hojlund. I don't know. I think that's asking for trouble. Now, Hjulman does look good, absolutely. I agree with you, but, Big would be a good goalkeeper. Thank you, thank you, Jonathan. Am I balding? Yes. Yes, to a degree. I'm not boarding anywhere else, mate. Just on the front there. Just a bit of serious residation taking place, but it happens to the best of us, mate. And if it doesn't, well, then you're lucky. Ramsdale's better than Onana. Yeah, maybe, but I still wouldn't want Ramsdale personally. Oh, yeah, Milinkovic-Savic be a great signing for us as well. Yeah, he had a couple that read against us. Yeah, fair enough. That was shite from the lad. But his overall season was good, though. We should have added Onana as a free bonus if someone wants to buy Gashmus. You honestly thought the goalkeeper Chelsea were getting Magic Mike, who was, we'll get Onana. Mike Mynan. Yeah, Mike Mynan is a good keeper, mate. Absolutely. Now that Bruno Saga's over, let's focus on the next winger. Yeah, just FC25, mate, playing champs. Right, we're going to go over there now, guys. Do us a favour. The link's pinned at the top of the live chat there. Oh, before you go, smash that like button on this stream. Give us a massive thumbs up. Come back afterwards. Get your thoughts and opinions about anything we've discussed. We will be covering all the transfer window, of course. So click that bell icon, click the like button, click the subscribe and get yourself involved there raw. But here is the link, as I say, to the gaming channel. We'll be over there in a minute. I'm just going to grab a coffee. It might be a few minutes late, but we'll be over there very soon. Thanks, everyone, for watching this stream. Appreciate you, legends. Absolute legends. Shout out to the mighty Hamada, the Breaking Brigade. Have your say in the chat afterwards and keep that community debate going, legends. Nice one, guys. Right, I've got to wrap it up, but thank you, everyone who's in the chat. SCJ, Simon, Abu Bakar, Simon, Ezio, Billy, Elliot, Stefan, Tommy Boyle, Marky Coughlin, all the mods, all the members. Big up the Baker Brigade. Thanks for watching, guys. That's it from me. I'll see you in literally about 5 minutes or so for a gaming stream. See you then. And remember, Piggy loves you. Right, guys, see you in a bit. And also remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, this is because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much. Get in there, you beauties. Thank you so much to all the patrons here for supporting the channel on patreon.com/FlyingPigUnited. As a thank you, all you legends will be appearing on this outro list. Get in there. Once again, thank you to all the YouTube members, but one of the best ways you can support the channel is on patreon.com, so check it out. Patreon.com/FlyingPigUnited. And once again, a big thank you to all the legends that do support the channel on Patreon. Get in there.